breaking, we just found out Washington elites have secret agreement. It's really bad. Evidence is emerging that the swamp runs even deeper than many Americans ever imagined. As Republicans celebrate the passage of the Senate's version of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, it seems the Senate made some small changes. Apparently, there have been some very small changes made to the bill's language that will continue to allow illegal aliens to continue to claim the child tax credit. Yes, you read that correctly. Those that have broken our laws and breached our borders are being given leave to obtain money for their children in a tax credit from a system they do not pay into in order to obtain money to which they are not entitled. All while our veterans go without necessary care and our elderly have to choose between their life-saving and sustaining medicine and food. If you are not outraged, you are not paying attention. The prevention of the use of this very important tax credit by illegals was at one point considered a priority for some Republicans and one of the many reasons for tax reform in the first place. Under the existing law, a person is not required to have a Social Security number, SSN, to claim the benefit but instead can substitute an individual taxpayer identification number, ITIN. It is a trick illegal aliens frequently use. The prevention of the use of this very important tax credit by illegals was at one point considered a priority for some Republicans and one of the many reasons for tax reform in the first place. Under the existing law, a person is not required to have a Social Security number, SSN, to claim the benefit but instead can substitute an individual taxpayer identification number, ITIN. It is a trick illegal aliens frequently use. Rep. Luke Messer, in R., made absolutely certain that this long-standing discrepancy was addressed in the House version of the tax bill. When the bill made its way out of the House and Ways Committee led by Chairman Kevin Brady, TXR, the language Messer included was still present. It very specifically demanded a credit claimant include the taxpayer's Social Security number on the return of tax for such taxable year. This language would have made it impossible for illegal aliens without a legitimate SSN claim the lucrative benefit to which they are not entitled. Yet when the Senate marked up the bill for approval, the language somehow snuck its way back in continuing the process of fleecing the American people. The text of the version that the Senate chose to pass after tweaking the language back to the original reads as follows. No credit shall be allowed under this section to a taxpayer with respect to any qualifying child unless the taxpayer includes the name and Social Security number of such qualifying child on the return of tax for the taxable year. The difference? Many illegal aliens have children with SSNs, including anchor babies or alien children with permanent residency, as well as so-called dreamers. Though dreamers do have SSNs due to Obama's Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals DACA, executive amnesty nonsense. Naturally, no one is claiming responsibility for the change and the House is vehement that the change was solely conceived on the Senate side. Meanwhile, Senator Jeff Flake, RAS, was demanding concessions for illegals as a ransom for supporting the tax reform bill in the first place. House Republicans who initially acted to address the issue with illegal aliens receiving the child tax credit on the backs of hard-working Americans have expressed their willingness to oppose this travesty posed by the Senate. In a statement from the Ways and Means Committee, Messer stated, "The House bill requires a SSN in order to claim the child tax credit. Members will work to address this in conference to protect against fraud in this credit. We can't continue to reward people who come to our country illegally while those who work hard and play by the rules struggle to get ahead." I was encouraged when President Trump included our legislation in his budget request to Congress, and I'm working to get it included in the final tax cut plan. The child tax credit is a vitally important tax break for middle and working class American people. It is unavailable to those that file as individuals making more than $75,000 or married filers earning more than $110,000 annually. The Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Act of 1996, PROWOA, specifically states that illegal aliens are not eligible for any federal public benefit. However, the Center for Immigration Studies offers this explanation as to why illegal aliens continue to receive benefits anyway. This benefit has continued to be made available to illegals because the IRS has interpreted the ambiguity of the language of the current tax code to make no distinction between U.S. citizens and legal residents and claimants who have no right to be in the United States. A 2011 Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration report suggests credits like these are putting billions of dollars in the hands of illegals.